storms over the weekend. How will this impact those Valentine's Day plans? We'll let you know.
Plus, how a lack of snow in parts of the western U.S. could lead to big changes later this year. And we're hearing from a family business that lost almost everything in the recent ice storm in Nashville. Why they say they're not giving up hope.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. We had another fire sunset earlier this evening. Well, we just lost the tower camera, but Tania, it looked incredible there a few moments ago when we had that view.
Oh, yeah, I certainly did, Wes. But take it away. We want to take a look now at what the next big thing is.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the chance for a few showers to come back maybe by Friday and Saturday, but all the rain's moving out for right now. You can see those clouds are thinning out in areas to the north. The clouds are breaking, pushing off towards the south, and that left us with some lovely views. A lot of you have been sharing those sunsets on the First Alert Weather app. A little bit of leftover shower activity, though, down along Highway 43 down towards Demopolis, down into Marengo County for folks there. But that's going to stay well south and west. Move on out of here, those leftover showers for tonight. But there could be a little bit of fog out the door in the morning. We're going to jump ahead to the next several days, though, and just even though the early morning may feature some patchy fog, some clouds, and maybe even a little bit of frost tomorrow morning, the afternoon tomorrow looks nice and sunny. That north wind takes over. Very dry air moving in, so highs tomorrow will rebound nicely into the 60s. You see that little bit of cloud cover that could come in early Friday morning, maybe an isolated shower, but we'll break into more sunshine on Friday. There's 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. Let's take it on into Valentine's Day Saturday. Some clouds, maybe a shower, but here it comes. This is what I'm going to be watching. This is early Sunday morning. You see this line right here. There could be some instability, enough instability where we could see a couple strong to severe storms down into South Alabama. I'm thinking this will be certainly the most impactful day we'll see on that extended forecast. Some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall. But what's interesting is model data shows a lot of this in the morning outrunning the more unstable air. But as temperatures rebound during the day Sunday, we could see some storms redevelop. A lot of cold air aloft moving in during the day, and I'm concerned there might be a couple of hail producers during the afternoon. So definitely an impactful system on Sunday. We'll get a lot of rain out of this and moves on out of here. And after that, we're going to be talking about some more warm temperatures, but drier into next week. Let's jump over to those First Alert weather headlines. And again, here's what we're going to be tracking tonight. That chance for maybe a little bit of fog and again, maybe some frost for areas north with these low to mid 30s possible in those colder areas. But colder, bundle up tomorrow morning, but nice improvement for the afternoon tomorrow. We've got that storm set up on Sunday. At least some heavier rain, gusty winds, a First Alert weather day, and we'll be talking more about those impacts and that extended forecast coming up right here as we continue after this 30-second break.
Well, tomorrow is Thursday, and I want to get you ready for it. Let's walk through that bus stop forecast together. Tomorrow, we get a break from the rain, and we're actually getting a break from most of the clouds, too. We'll see lots of sunshine for your Thursday. Highs warming up into the 60s. It's going to be a mild day, but the early morning hours will be cold. Look at 7 a.m. We're talking about upper 30s for many areas, but the further north that you are, like in Coleman, Winston, Marion County, temperatures could start near freezing, low to mid 30s. So bundle up. Here's what you need out the door tomorrow. You don't need the umbrella. We've got more sunshine and dry weather tomorrow. A warm coat for the start of the day, the sunglasses for all the sunshine, and always keep on hand that First Alert Weather app. We'll talk about returning rain chances for your Valentine's Day weekend coming up in just a few minutes. In the eastern U.S., there's been plenty of snow this winter, and however, it's in the Rockies. In the Rockies, it's a different story. A lack of snow plus unusually warm temperatures are raising concerns about a water shortage this year. Ted Lindner has the story.
Scientists from around the country are sounding alarms.
I am worried about this. I worry about it a lot.
Citing how a record snow drought and higher winter temperatures are triggering fears over water shortages come spring across portions of the West.
The snow situation here in the West, I've never seen anything like it. We don't have the snowfall, and we have such extreme warmth that whatever snow falls just doesn't stay around anymore.
Snowpack is a layer of snow that builds up on the ground, compacting over time, and then releasing water as it melts in warmer months.
Out here in the West, it's the mountain snowpack that is our primary source of water for agriculture, for anything else. Across almost all of the West, we're in terrible shape right now. 50 to 55% of where we should be.
Colorado, Oregon, and Utah are all experiencing their lowest statewide snowpack since records started in the 1980s. It comes as at least 67 weather stations across the West are reporting their warmest December through early February temperatures on record.
What we are seeing across the West is that the mountain snowpack is starting to shrink. The snowpack doesn't really develop as early in the autumn as it used to, and we're starting to see the melt occurring earlier.
The conditions are also negatively impacting winter tourism, sparking concerns over the possibility of future wildfires.
Someone does something stupid, throws a cigarette butt out, or is an arcing from a power line. Now you can get a nasty forest fire.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And coming up, how a lack of rain in one southern state is leading to big changes for not only animals, but businesses as well.
Explore the wonders of weather with Weather in the Classroom. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
On this date, 127 years ago, the country was in a deep freeze. We're talking about temperatures below zero all the way down into the Florida Panhandle. It was during this outbreak on February 13th, 1899 that Birmingham hit its all-time coldest temperature of 10 degrees below zero. And it wasn't just temps that were unusual. So was the amount of snow some places received. Here's a look back at this date in weather history.
Starting February 11th, 1899, the vast majority of the United States started to feel the impacts of the historic storm system referred to as the Great Arctic Outbreak of 1899. This storm system produced blizzard conditions across much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, with many locations between the Carolinas and Maine picking up between 1 to 3 feet of snow. The snow pushed south to the Gulf Coast, with snow registered as far south as Tampa and Fort Myers, Florida. Frigid Arctic air impacted most of the country with this system as well, with 45 states reporting sub-zero temperatures. Temperatures dropped to 40 below zero across Nebraska, and Chicago spent more than 48 hours below zero. It was so cold with this event that ice was reported to have formed all along the Mississippi watershed, and in Texas, the Brazos River in Waco froze over solid enough that people could ice skate across the river.
The recent ice storm in Nashville, Tennessee killed hundreds of tropical fish at a family-owned pet shop. Nick Barrett spoke with the family about how they're coping with the losses.
Richard Inglis runs an aquarium of sorts, part hobby and part business, out of his garage with 3 partners.
This is Casey, Kaylee, and Carly.
They all run Papa and Girls Freshwater Fish, something Richard started to share something with his granddaughters. It began as a small thing a few years back, but grew to more than 70 tanks where they breed beautiful freshwater tropical fish.
So we had baby discus in this tank down here. We had cichlids in this tank. We had many guppies down here. And then we also had some oxalotls and...
Everything was going great, but then the ice storm hit. These tropical fish need water 78 degrees or warmer, but then the power went out and their backup generator failed. 7 days with no heat and the water temperature dropped to 36 degrees.
When it got real cold like it did, the fish and the water froze.
It's just like, you kind of hope that there's some kind, like there's survivors, but you just know in your head that there's not going to be any.
They was all dead. Everything we had was dead.
How many?
There was at least 10 per tank and 78 tanks.
They did lose all the fish. What remains are a tank full of hardy snails and little amphibians that could take the cold.
So these are some African clawed frogs. There is some in the back swimming, but they are kind of just trying to recover from the ice.
The rest of the tanks have been emptied and cleaned, heart-wrenching, since they all did consider the fish to be pets.
It's really hard to see one of them. To lose one, you lose the whole thing, and it's really, really hard.
But the girls say they're going to be right there with Granddad, starting over, 1 tank at a time.
At first it was very sad, but just pray and give it to God and just go.
Get more fish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, we're trending a little bit colder out there for tonight. Right now down to 52 degrees, and you'll want that jacket in the morning. Starting to see these clouds breaking up. Looks like over in Talladega County now. Some nice breaks down into Shelby County, parts of Chilton County. But notice there's still a little bit of wet weather showing up in those far southwest areas. Looks like over towards Demopolis. You see there in the parts of Sumter County. We'll go in for a closer view. There's Greene County. So if you're watching me here, maybe over towards Uniontown and Gallion, you get down into southern Hill County, if places like Fonsdale, if you're watching us maybe on the stream, looks like this will be dropping in from the north and west there. A couple showers. There's Forkland. This looks like this has passed us there. But tonight by 10 o'clock, you can see 47 degrees. Overnight tonight, lows in the mid to upper 30s north to near 40 south. But there will be a chance for maybe a little bit of patchy fog and even a little bit of frost in those colder locations early tomorrow morning. The good news is break into some sunshine tomorrow, and we do have a beautiful Thursday ahead. Light northeast wind, 63 degrees, therefore a temperature around 3 o'clock. We'll see those highs in all locations. We should reach into the 60s. We'll see a nice rebound there later in the day. As we move along, though, and we get into Friday, maybe an isolated shower possible there early in the day. We have a high of 66 degrees, but we'll start out chilly again early Friday morning. Another cold start to the day, but those temperatures will rebound. Might be an isolated shower north where some of those clouds start to move in. Just kept a 20% chance of rain in there. I certainly wouldn't cancel any big plans. Doesn't look like a lot of wet weather. Most of Valentine's Day right now looks dry. We have a high of 67. There might be some morning low clouds as that moisture starts to build back in here. Let's go in and walk you through some of the high resolution data. We'll come back to this extended forecast just to show you once again. This is from our Barron model that we have in-house, and this does a good job on showing that weekend system. But first off, there's tomorrow. You see the afternoon looks dry. Again, maybe a brief period where we get some clouds, maybe an isolated shower Friday. And then Saturday, there's 7 in the morning. Mostly cloudy, and you see how that moisture starts to lift back in here. We'll get maybe an isolated shower to the north during the day, but 7 o'clock Saturday evening, if you have some dinner reservations, maybe even lunch plans through the early evening, I still think most of the day right now looks dry, may stay kind of cloudy out there, highs in the 60s, but it's overnight Saturday night. We've got this upper level disturbance moving our way, and as typical with a system like that, the models, last week we were talking about this system, they sort of struggled on the timing and evolution of this, but we have declared a first alert weather day because this will be more impactful, maybe some stronger storms out of this early Sunday. Got to watch it there in the morning. We'll see this line move in, some pockets of heavier rain, gusty winds. I think the rain, the wind impacts, and the greatest concern for any severe weather, mostly those areas back in towards the south and west. But what's interesting is you get that first round that moves through Sunday morning, we might see some storms try to redevelop into Sunday afternoon as the temperatures rebound. We've got this pocket of cold air aloft that's going to move over the state, this upper trough, and when that happens, sometimes you get these hail producers that can sometimes pop up, some storms. So we'll have to watch out for that in Sunday afternoon. So overall, just a day we need to closely monitor that first alert weather day. Big improvements after this coming up on that following Monday as we go right back to that 7-day forecast. You'll see Monday we start out around 49 up to 67 degrees, and then Tuesday 47 to 70. So those afternoon temperatures will improve, and you don't see the actual rain percentage on Thursday, Friday of next week, but there will be a small chance for an isolated shower in there, but certainly trending milder through the middle of next week as Tania joins us again. Tania, looks like in that long range forecast, at least right now, no significant signals of a big freeze anytime soon.
No, and honestly, Wes, I'm looking at the opposite. We could be pretty warm to end out the month of February. Let's take a look at our temperature outlook. February 19th through the 25th, below average temps for the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast. But for most of the United States, we're dealing with above average temperatures, and that includes us right here across central Alabama. Let's take a look at some of our temperature ranges here. Taking you beyond the 10-day, and I want to get you close to the end of the month of February. Overnight temps, there could be some cooler mornings, but look at all this warmth that lifts in here for some of our afternoons. This shows us February the 25th. Could see some 70s and maybe some mid 70s along the Gulf Coast, and looking even warmer for the few days afterwards. This is the 26th on a Thursday, and you can just see how warm it could be for the afternoon. Might need to make a trip down to the coast with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Boy, would that be nice. But take a look at our precipitation outlook. The one thing that we're dealing with across central Alabama is more near average rainfall. Maybe some of our far northern counties dealing with above average rainfall February 19th through the 25th. But like Wes said, beyond that 10-day forecast, I'm not seeing a whole lot in the way of storms or rain. But we'll keep you up to date because, you know, the weather's always changing. While drought conditions here in Alabama have eased recently due to lots of rain, it's a very different story in South Florida. A drought is affecting not only plants and animals, but also tourism businesses. Janine Stanwood has the story.
We're on an airboat with Marshall Jones, a fifth-generation Gladesman who runs Max Fish Camp.
Because this drought is going to be one of the worst ones in a generation. Yeah, he moved back there.
We see gators trudging through mud. It's mucky and bone dry.
Oh, all right.
Nice and cold, right?
Yep.
The further we go this direction, the drier it gets. This particular drought is coming on earlier and with a harder, more rapid onset than I've ever seen.
Rainfall is 50% down since November, prompting officials to urge people to conserve water to stop depleting the Biscayne Aquifer, South Florida's main water source.
The less you waste water, the more viable our aquifer will be. This entire area that we're going through today, the Everglades in general, is the aquifer recharge zone for all of South Florida.
The Everglades is also home to one of the most complex and important ecosystems. Dry conditions shrinking the habitat and hiding places for wildlife.
With the rapid onset of this drought, the wildlife, many of them will be stranded out here. This area would normally be up to our knees with water.
Back at base camp, Jones has had to cut back on airboat tours because there are fewer places to go. He's also worried about brush fires already popping up.
It's a tinderbox waiting to go off.
Now to more on a story we first brought you yesterday here on First Alert Weather Extra. A crack on frozen Lake Erie has grown to 100 miles. It was at 80 miles yesterday. As Alan Nosoff tells us, first responders are asking everyone to stay off the lake, even though it's 95% frozen.
Huge crack has formed in the ice on Lake Erie, prompting warnings to stay off. But some people are still headed to Edgewater to venture out onto the ice this day.
And we walked a little bit further out, and I heard cracking.
Oh boy, when did you hear that cracking? What did you think when you heard that cracking?
There were a couple times. So once it was a minimal crack, like it sounded like a shallow crack, not like thunder from underneath your feet.
Then Alyssa Webb said the sound got louder.
Hearing that big thump crack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And when you heard that
it made my heart jump up into my chest.
Oh my gosh.
Alyssa and Clay aren't the only ones who heard those cracks.
And as I was standing right there taking a picture, I heard a little crack and I said, I'm out.
And the unpredictability of the ice is why Cleveland Fire Lieutenant Mike Norman says it's best to enjoy the lake from the edge of the water, not on it.
Even as that surface is frozen, there are currents running underneath. The river is still running underneath that ice. That can create different depths to the ice. It's just not safe to go out on that ice.
Teachers, promote literacy in your class by scheduling a book reading with WBRC. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
It's picture time here on Weather Extra, and I actually had Rhonda Hook. She sent in this picture on Facebook, and I said, hey, can you send it in through our First Alert weather app? And she did, and she said while she was at Panama City Beach, she saw a shark cloud, and I had to look at it for a minute, but there it is, the shark cloud in Panama City Beach. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know if that's a sunset or sunrise, but yeah, that's pretty neat there, Rhonda. Thank you for sharing and sending it in. Mary Molly Hallmark sent in this picture all the way from Cozumel, Mexico. Let me get out of the way there. But it doesn't even matter if you send it in from locally or all the way from Cozumel. In fact, Robin Jordan sent in the beauty from her own yard. Isn't that pretty? You got a very lovely yard there, Robin. Thank you for sending that in. And check this out. This is Harry Ledbetter. Said Mr. Owl in Gadsden. You got the video of him. Who? I said Mr. Owl. Who? Mr. Owl in Gadsden. That's who. So thank you very much, Henry Ledbetter, for sending that in. And if you would like to be a part of our picture time here on Weather Extra, you have to send it in through our First Alert weather app. Gives us permission to use those pictures here on TV. You can use the QR code or just do an app search for WBRC First Alert. That's a look at picture time. Now back to more of Weather Extra.
They said, we love the weather. Those are 6th graders at Restoration Academy. Shout out to Miss Stephanie Fisher for inviting me to speak. I had such a great time. Look at all the smiles on their faces.
Look at all those smiles.
I know. We talked about severe weather safety and what it means to be a meteorologist. And I think I convinced some of them, Wes.
Fun times, fun times. Love the weather in the classroom. And hey, teachers, sign up. We're getting a lot of requests for school visits. And well, oh, that's a great photo.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so I know they were all weather alert. And of course, talking about all the crazy wintry weather we've had here recently. So the weather's certainly been interesting.
A lot of questions. Oh, yeah. Kept them on their toes for sure.
So we'll be watching Sunday. Right now, it looks like a chance for some heavier rain. First Alert weather day. We'll keep a watch on that risk for storms. But just know the good news is Saturday has trended drier.
Oh, yeah. Valentine's Day. Keep those plans. Have fun. Enjoy it. But make sure you're staying weather alert heading into Sunday.
That's right. So we'll be talking more about this extended forecast. Check the First Alert weather app. Don't forget we're streaming there right now. And we'll keep streaming. You can find us on the streams when we're not right here on WBRC. But we'll be back tonight first at 9.